Hello all and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at Diamond Select Toys Bruce Lee 80th Anniversary action figure. This action figure comes to us in the year 2020, so this did come out last year in the fall or maybe early winter of 2020, but this was to basically commemorate everything that Bruce Lee has done in his 80th anniversary of his birthday. So he's definitely an icon, and it was one that I saw probably a week ago or so for 16 bucks at Walgreens. So this guy, if he is hitting shelves, he might be coming in pretty cheap, so definitely keep an eye out. Just to go over the box, as you can see, the box is kind of just exactly what Diamond Select Toys is known for. They have a giant window, and then of course, you know, the logo at the bottom here. As you can see, just that, the silhouette of him doing a flying kick, obviously, but just sort of simple, as well as, you know, the warning here at the top. If we go to the sides, you also have more window dressing, just kind of showing you the different pieces that he comes with. Here you have his logo down there. It says 80th Anniversary Bruce Lee. I believe that's a logo that he had carved into one of his desks, but I don't remember correctly. On the other side, it's the same thing, nothing new there. Same window and logo there. Here on the back, you get a look at the figure, and they do a sort of standard pose, and I don't think that, you know, in terms of box art, this really sells it, but you know, it's gonna be when we take this out of the box that it's really gonna matter. So you know, nothing crazy there. Again, his logo, and it says action figure. The year 2020 commemorates the 80th anniversary of Bruce Lee's birth. The dragon used in the logo comes from the front of a custom-made desk that Lee ordered for himself in Hong Kong. That dragon on the front of the desk was designed and intricately carved to his specifications. This 7-inch scale figure of Bruce Lee features 25 points of articulation and multiple interchangeable hands and accessories. And it was designed by Yuri Ming and sculpted by Gentle Giant Studios. So yeah, that's what he looks like still inside the box. And yeah, let's break him open and we'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back. So as you can see, Bruce Lee is out of the box, and just starting off, it does look like he has quite a bit of accessories. So what comes with the figure is obviously the figure. He comes with a bow staff, a sort of cheap, sort of plastic peg stand, which, you know, honestly at first glance isn't that great. Bent nunchucks that have sort of a moving motion. So as you can see, they have the outline of the swoosh motion of him in action. And then you have unbent nunchucks, but these can bend if you want to pose them with the figure in its hands. So he does come with a pair of those. And then 4 alternate hands, as you can see here, just different grabbing, punching motions. So yeah, I mean, not bad for accessories. And you know, especially when it comes to handling him, he's not bad. The figure itself is kind of what the issue is going to be here, and what I've noticed. Right off the bat, the face is not that bad. I don't know if you can see as clearly here, but the face actually doesn't look too bad, especially for a $16 figure. You know, I was expecting a lot worse, but not terrible. The mold looks good, but what the problem is, especially since he's, you know, shirtless and we're seeing his skin, is the paint job that they did and the difference between the face and the body. The body has these weird light and dark tones, but the face just sort of has this pale flesh color that makes it look like he's dead. So it almost brings out his eyes in a sort of odd way. But then they try to blend that into his body, and it doesn't work. It's really kind of awkward to look at, and just not something I would think would be fun to pose with, or, you know, to display as a piece. He does have quite a bit of articulation, so his head swivels there. There is some slight swiveling up here on his joint, But then you have a lot of swiveling here on his bicep, a hinge joint here on his elbow, and obviously a rotating cuff here for his wrist. Obviously this can be taken out with his alternate hands. Same over here. Upper body twist some, so you have some function right there, but not a lot. Down here on his legs is probably where the most articulation is going to be. You have obviously a roll pin joint there. You can also rotate the legs as well on either side. Hinge joints on the knees, so you know, decent motion, decent range of motion there, especially for like his flying kicks and stuff. Down here you have rotating as well as hinge for his ankles, and in terms of articulation I think he's quite obviously great for it, but at the same time it brings out such ugly qualities in the figure. I mean, his ankles, for an instance, look huge. He's got cankles, honestly. I mean, look at this. This is just, well, not pretty to look at. I mean, I guess if you're trying to do like a flying kick motion, maybe, but I mean, even there, it looks like a ball joint. It looks terrible, and I don't know why this went through QC and decided to get put on the figure, but it kind of does take away from it altogether. I mean, you know, if this guy was, I know this isn't the best, but if he was like 12 bucks, I would say screw it. I love it. It's worth the money. But, you know, after paying 16 bucks for it and then seeing him retail for like 30 bucks, you know, on aftermarket prices, it's just kind of absurd because I don't get the hype around them. You know, there's better Bruce Lee figures outside of this one from, like, I think Figma has done one, is maybe SH Figure Arts, but I'm not sure. But I just kind of unattractive to look at, and he looks kind of awkward. Again, the articulation is a 10 out of 10 for the most part. I really do think they did a good job. They could have done maybe a better job covering up the hinges and everything, but I won't fault him on that. In terms of, you know, being able to stand up, there is, like I said, this really cheap base that you could use, and he does have holes on the bottom of his feet, so he can stand up that ways, but it's going to limit your range just because how he's positioned. So it's going to be more awkward than anything, and I honestly feel like it would have been better to have a stand base rather than a peg base, but that's just me. His hands do, though, provide a lot of good gripping support for his weapons, so it's easy enough to just put them in without having to hassle with it too much, and, you know, they kind of just slide right in pretty easily, and he's able to, you know, do different poses. Maybe not this one, but, you know, it's, I guess, let me put it this way. If this figure, if you find him cheap and he's worth putting in the back of your display collection, all the way in the back, you know what, go for it. You know, if you're not willing to pay those higher prices on other ones. But especially for being the 80th anniversary of his birthday, I'm just kind of shocked that they put this sort of quality into it, just because he's an icon, a pop culture icon, and it just, I think he deserves better. Again, I'm not even sure if I'm going to keep him, but it was one of those things where, you know, when I saw this figure of the dragon, for as cheap as it was, I had to get it, but now I see why he was so cheap. It just, I don't know. It's really, this is worth the $16 for the accessories, I would say. So if you're really into the accessories, definitely get this, but I mean, you might as well use the figure for fodder parts, because he'd probably be better use. You could probably find a better body for him using fodder lots than what he's got here. But that's going to do it for the review. So if you have any opinions or questions, definitely check out the channel, leave a comment, and make sure to like and subscribe. And until next time, this is Aces signing off.
This is Colin. I won't be able to get in tonight. I'm trying to loan Mark, but he's got